Do you feel that this process of ending your behavior with pornography is really challenging? Do you feel it's really hard? Let me give you a scenario. You told yourself that you're done with this behavior. You're like, I'm done. I am definitely done with this shit. It is so frustrating that I keep telling myself I'm going to quit masturbating, quit viewing this type of pornography, yet I go back to it all the time. And then you're doing well for a couple of days, and then you're hit with that urge. Perhaps you had a few smaller urges, but you know that urge. The one that hits you so hard that for the next couple of hours, you can't even focus. Like, you can't focus at work. If you're going to bed, you can't even sleep because your mind just keeps going right back to that arousal. You're like, oh my God, I need release. I just keep fantasizing. I just keep thinking, oh, fucking. That's all I keep thinking about. You know exactly what I'm talking about. And you tell yourself you need release, and eventually you give in to it. That's when you start thinking, man, how am I going to end this behavior? How is this stuff going to work? Guess what? All that stuff I just described, oh, that's easy. That's simple and that's easy. That's stuff we eat for breakfast here at Porn Reboot. Why? Because we actually have a system for it. Let me tell you the thing that's actually harder than that. The thing that is harder than quitting porn is making the decision. Listen, because this is probably one of the simplest yet most important things you will ever hear on this podcast. The most difficult part of this is making the decision. And part of making the decision to end your behavior with pornography is accepting the impact that this has had on your life. And chances are you haven't fully accepted the impact. Chances are you still don't believe that this can be an addictive behavior. You know it's a problem, but you still deep down believe that you can do this on your own. You still keep buying into that false hope that you can willpower your way out of it. You still haven't fully accepted that the reason you are experiencing so much shame and guilt, the reason why shame and guilt is seeping into other areas of your life, the reason why you can't go all out on your career, the reason why you are lacking that little bit of intimacy in your relationship, the reason why your sexual intimacy with your partner is not where it needs to be, is because of this behavior. You haven't fully accepted that. Here's the second thing that you need to do in order to make the decision outside of accepting the impact of this on your life. The second thing is you have to accept that there is a possibility of a very vibrant life once you've controlled this behavior. See, you're not really willing to let go of porn because it is so important in your life right now. Despite its negative impact, because you have no other option. Nobody has shown you an option. And the reason why no one has shown you an option is because, unlike things like alcohol and drugs and substances, with pornography, there's so much shame. Like, how are you going to have a conversation? How are you going to casually sit down with your boys and go like, hey man, like, I'm dealing with this problem with porn. I watch some really fucked up stuff, dude. And, like, I wish there was an alternative, dude. I wish there was something that could, just something that could replace it, man. Something that could just make me feel better or feel the same way. And that's the problem. In your head, you feel that there should be an alternative to pornography, to your compulsive sexual behavior that mirrors it. So the only concept you have of something that could be as pleasurable as sex is sex, because you don't believe there's anything that could replace it. So in your head, you're like, how can I give this up? Like, I actually haven't experienced anything else in my life that is as great as orgasm. But that's because you are making the mistake of assuming that the reason you're doing this is for the orgasm. And that's what makes this particular behavioral addiction so insidious. You're not doing it because of the orgasm. You're doing it to medicate something else. But the orgasm is so powerful that you cannot even pause to take a look at what that other thing is. And nowhere in your conditioning, in your education, sometimes even in your religion, has someone told you, or in the mainstream, explained that, oh, there are actually other coping strategies for this, or that you don't need to medicate strong emotions with this, or that, hey, one of the things holding you back is that you have some beliefs about pornography. Like no one has shown you the alternatives. That's the second reason why you haven't made the decision. That's the challenging part, brother. There are many layers to that. And that's the whole reason why I show up here. That's the reason why I'm the one in the videos, almost 1,000 videos on YouTube. Go to YouTube and search for Porn Reboot JKM80. Because it's the decision that's hard. I couldn't care less where you go to get help because we literally cannot help everybody. Right now, we even have a wait list for the intensive program. But what I do care about is that you make the decision. Because once you make the decision, here's the scary part. You're not going to end the behavior in 30 days. You got minimum year and a half. But for many guys, because of the responsibilities you have, because of homeostasis, because of age, conditioning, so many factors that will come in the way of your life, your relationship, fear, the level of shame and guilt, the trauma that you may have. Without our program outside, it's probably still going to take you years to control this behavior. And that's the truth. There is nothing to sugarcoat. It is going to take some of you who are not using a system years. And even the brothers who come through our program, I've said it. You can go back to the first podcast. This is going to take about 1.5 years to up to 2 years to end this behavior. That is why it is imperative that you understand that the quitting porn part, that's the simple part. And yes, that takes 1.5 years to 2 years. The hard part is the decision. And if right now you're sitting there listening to me and you can't even hear anything I have to say right now because you're still stuck on the what the fuck is this 1.5 years to 2 year part, that is an obstacle. That's an obstacle. That's a limiting belief going like, no. Like I believe I can do this in a couple of months. I read. No, that's your reticular activating system that is always going to look for proof. It's going to look for the easy way. That's what you're looking for. So if you hear some guy on YouTube or you listen to another podcast or an ad pops up and some dude tells you, hey man, you can quit porn in 7 days. You can quit porn in 30 days for good. Your reticular activating system is designed. It's the same thing. When you're in an airport, you don't hear any other person's name, but when they call your name, you hear it over the loudspeakers. It's the same thing. You have primed it to look for easy ways to end this behavior because subconsciously you cannot accept the fact that it's going to take a while. But you know why this is such a trick? It's such a trick because ask yourself right now, how long have you actually been actively trying to end this behavior? Chances are, in the time it would have taken you to end the behavior, you've been fucking around, playing games, and you're still not in control of the behavior. That's why you're listening to this, 9-10 minutes in? Because you still are not in control of your behavior. Brother, understand that the decision is the tough part. The quitting porn, we do it so quickly. I don't pat myself on the back for helping men end their behavior with pornography. I don't even feel anything when dudes are like crying and telling me like, oh my God, like you changed my life, blah, 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 blah. For a moment, I am happy. I'm just like, you know what? This is the reason that I do this. But that's it. Like, apart from that, I don't even remember it. I literally don't. I'll have like Reboot Hero and people on the team going like, hey man, do you still want me to share this guy's video testimonial? And I'm like, oh shit, I totally forgot that this guy. The real joy of this is when somebody makes the decision. When somebody actually shows up and it's just like, hey man, I've made the decision to do this. That's the most important call to me. The most important call is not the call. We have a legacy call in the intensive program. That's when a brother is possibly exiting the program because he is in control of his behavior. He's in the late stage or the maintenance stage. That's a nice call a lot of times. Sometimes tears are shed. But the real call is the decision call. It's your welcome call. It's the call where you're just like, oh my God, is this a scam? Oh my God, can I do this? Holy shit, I spent a shit ton of money. Oh my God, my wife doesn't know. Like, I don't even want to show up for this call. I just want to run away and ask for a refund. That's the call. Since 2012, I have taken, I don't know, maybe close to 10,000. I've taken a lot of these calls. That's the call that matters. Because at that point, you are vulnerable. You on your own, you made the decision. You did the toughest thing. And the moment you make the decision, you are good. At some point, you are going to gain some level of control, even if you do not join our program. And that's all I push for. Men making the decision. Yes, porn has negatively impacted my life. Yes, it is possible that it is the thing that is holding me back. Yes, it is possible that it is the thing that is responsible for my continued sadness, my continued unhappiness, my continued depression, this weird anxiety that I feel, my lack of self-esteem, the gnawing shame, the self-hate. It is possible that it is my behavior with pornography that is responsible for this. Once you start thinking that way, oh my goodness, you escape. You realize, oh man, maybe it's not even the medications. No wonder the medications are not working. No wonder all these different things I'm running through. My fucking therapist is beating about the bush, going for the root cause. I haven't even told them that I have a problem with pornography. What if that is the thing? What a day. What a day when you make that decision. So, brother, again, as a summary, the strong urges part, the tips and tricks you ask for, people come, oh, with the tips or tricks, get the fuck out of here with tips or tricks. This is easy stuff in our system. It is making the decision. The moment you make the decision, this entire podcast takes on a whole different tone for you. The moment you make a decision, even watching our videos on YouTube, the emails, everything becomes completely different. So I encourage you to do what is necessary to make that decision.